of those was brick and mortar. 36 of the 260 was brick and mortar. What does that tell us, Victor?
Well, that tells us that we've got a number of folks who are here having their home-based business here in Spring Hill, or who have their primary location in another city, but they want to do business in Spring Hill, and so they come and they have bought a city business license as well. We've got a lot of commerce that goes on here that's not on Main Street. It's stuff that's in your neighborhoods, it's your next door neighbors working out of their home, doing lots of business here in Spring Hill.
Have you tried the new burger over at Highway 55?
I have. Now, I didn't get the big Andy's burger. I went with the small one. But yeah, I like that. Man, Jonathan's. What about that?
Prime rib. I'm a prime rib guy.
Prime rib.
I love Jonathan's prime ribs.
I have not been to Froggy and Jeffro's yet. That's over off of Port Royal, I think. I haven't been to that one yet. Didn't go to McAllister's though.
Want to mention too, don't want to leave out Martin Methodist up at the top right there. And remember last year at this time we announced Martin Methodist, and so we're so excited. As a matter of fact, last week, Jan McKeel, who's in the audience, there she is, her and Lauren Magley, where Lauren is, she's probably running around working, there she is, and it was us three, and then Andy from the EDC state. But we had a panel with the Martin Methodist board who came to Spring Hill, did their quarterly board meeting here in Spring Hill, right in the room next door. So we're just very proud of them. And we're a 4-year degree in Spring Hill. Wow.
Don't have to leave that. I went to Tennessee Promise and go to Columbia State, and now you can come up here and get to finish out with a 4-year degree. That's an incredible opportunity here in our city.
Yeah, and one last thing, the movie, you can go ahead, movie theater. How many of us have enjoyed seeing Star Wars at the movie theater? Wow.
Don't spoil it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you what happens.
Somebody's going to like it.
Yeah, somebody out here not seen it. We've just started. There's more on the way. Here's a few that we can tell you about. If we could probably double that for those that we know and you don't yet. Okay? We'd have to kill you if we told you. So, that's one of those deals. So this is just a few that are coming. The Dale Well. This is a 55-plus active adult facility. How many homes was it, Dan?
600.
600. Okay? They're coming. They're on the Murray side. And they're not going to burden our schools. They're going to spend some money in town. I had 3 councilmen. I went to Smyrna High. 3 of my high school buddies are councilmen for Smyrna. They came up to me individually one day and said, "How did y'all get them? How did y'all, we're dying for one of those. We want it so bad." And we were blessed. And so we're real excited about that coming on. And I'm of age. I can move there. The twice daily. I'll mention that real quick. You don't have to go back on Port Royal. We're hoping that should reduce some gas lines at the Kroger's on Port Royal, and maybe stop a few fights.
Hey, you know something that's not on that slide I just thought about, and it's because they haven't pulled their building permit yet, but we got the Hampton Inn that's coming in the Crossings area, but we have a Holiday Inn, the highest grade of a Holiday Inn Express that has been approved in the Campbell Station area, and they just contacted us last week about wanting to move forward, so we're pretty excited about that.
My house is 300 feet from that hotel. I can go have breakfast there. Rick, we aspire. Last year we mentioned, I think the last slide we did with you guys last year, we brought this slide up. To aspire to create a life well lived. You might remember that slide. Those are the last words. Now, it is a life well lived. We're there. We're moving there. We're going there. And we're keep moving there. We are creating that. life well lived at Spring Hill.
But you know, life well lived is not just it. Hey, it is about economics, and folks want to be able to have good economic opportunity. They want to have to be able to have a good job and live well and do all those things and have the money it takes to do that. But it's more than just that. Living a life well lived is about having some time with family, having some time to enjoy the area that you live in. And so that's another area that the city of Spring Hill, in our city, we are trying to create. And we're doing that through planning. We've added, in the past 2 or 3 years, we talked about all the staff that we've added. We've had some excellent hires. One of them came to us from Fayetteville, Arkansas, Dara Sanders, our city planner. The top picture that you see right there is Dara and the mayor getting the American Planning Association's award for excellence, the best in Tennessee for our bike and greenways plan. But that's not all that we were doing, because while they were in the process of getting that plan done and getting that award, we were also working on and completed the city's comprehensive plan, the major thoroughfare plan, and adopted road impact fees so that growth pays for growth. Those were hugely significant projects, and we got them all done in this last year. That's leading up to a new project for this year that we're involved in right now, and that's going to be a rewrite of the zoning regulations and all the subdivision regulations associated with them. It's a huge challenge, and Dara Sanders, our planner, is the one who's really taking the bull by the horns on that and making sure that happens. And it's been excellent to get those done, and she's going to do a great job leading us in the future there too.
Excellent, indeed. The picture on the bottom right-hand corner, you probably have seen that in the newspapers and the press. And what would you guys think about a Spring Hill square? Yeah. And we are working on a public-private type partnership to bring something like this to the children's property. This would be a walkable, it's going to have a civic aspect to it, either a city hall or library or both. It's going to have residential, retail, office space, and this one day could be our new square. It's just something, our square burned down, what?
A while back.
Long before any of us.
I wasn't here then.
Even before the original 800. We're just so excited about this. We don't know, we're going to be working on a TIF, which is a tax credit kind of thing. Future taxes coming back to help pay for the development. We've never done that before. We've already learned a lot about doing TIFs, and we're working on that. We're getting expert advice on that. We're even redoing, because this is such a diverse development of all those pieces I mentioned, you guys, we're looking at possibly adopting a new zoning tool to allow it. And we're hoping, not just this one, but maybe even some other ones coming down the line, the potential. And all this could be in our city. So, a life well lived. It is more about those things. It's about great planning, but it's about having things to do inside the city. And we've created some places for those things to happen. How many of you have been out to the new Port Royal Park? Raise your hands. Good. Not everybody. Wow. You guys got to get out there and take a look at that. Take your kids or your grandkids, or just go yourself to the splash pad this summer. It's absolutely fabulous. Get out there and get wet. There's no age limit.
There's no age limit on the splash pad. You can't get on the play equipment, but there's no age limit on the splash pad. And it's accessible to everyone. That's the great thing about it. The day that we opened that splash pad, in my mind, one of the best moments was while all the other kids were running and ramping, There was a young girl, she was about 7, 8 years old, being pushed around in her wheelchair, and she was having the best time of her life right out there among everyone. It's a great facility. Even the playground is accessible to everyone of all challenges, even autistic. We built a component inside it to take care of autistic kids where they can kind of get in, out of the fray of all the play and roughhousing that goes on it, and they can find their spot with some textile, different textures and sensory things for their hands and to work their mind. We really tried to make it something that everybody could have a part in and everybody could participate in. It's a great thing. And so going along with that, the city hasn't just put our money in that and left it. Oh, by the way, there's 3 football fields and a fire station out there. Congratulations, Chief. Got your new fire station, too. But in addition to that, the city has built a new pocket park off of McLemore. If you haven't driven that area lately, you ought to pull in there. A couple of years ago, we were gifted with some property that somebody was planning on building on, but there's power lines around it, and they couldn't build, and they didn't want to pay property tax on it, so they gave it to the city. We found it as a great opportunity to go out, spend a little bit of money, build a pocket park, something that's walkable for the neighborhood, but also has you can drive over there. There's not much parking, but you can drive over there and play a game of basketball or enjoy a small play apparatus or a little pavilion, something to get out of the sun. We're trying to look for all areas of the city and what we can do for all areas. We've been adding festivals. Different festivals have been coming into town. Of course, you know about Ham Fest. There's the Pay It Forward Festival. And our Movies in the Park this year was just outstanding. Out there at Port Royal, we now have the venue to be able to support large gatherings like that. We had such a fabulous time. And we're trying to connect, for those who like to walk, we're trying to connect a trails program between us and our sister cities to the north and to the south. We haven't yet connected down to Columbia, but this year we opened up the Tanyard Springs Walk Bridge, which connects, obviously, to the Tanyard Springs subdivision to Thompson Station. You can now start at about Publix, and actually, you actually can go further on down past Publix and start walking, and you can walk to the other side of Thompson Station on a trail system or within the sidewalks in the community, not have to get out there on the main road. So we're really trying to make those types of opportunities also available to our citizens. Wow. How many of you seen the big water tank? Yeah.
How can you miss it?
How can you miss it? Water tank has been on the city's books for over 10 years as a needed item in the city, needed for the infrastructure. It became really critical when TriStar and Murray Regional developed down near Saturn Parkway. We needed to make sure that we had enough water, if any event happened, if a water line broke or whatever, that they would be supplied. So when they built, it made this really critical. It became a city priority. We had gotten past all of the negative finance issues that had occurred years before. We made it a priority, and I wanted to announce to you that we opened the valve 2 days ago. That's operational. And now we have a secure supply for our medical facilities all the way around the crossings, and we're getting a benefit of increasing people's water pressure. So we're excited about that.
Speaking of excitement, I'm about to make you even more excited. Roads, we've all been roads and parks. That's what we promised years ago. That's what we're working on. This is Buckner Road, Buckner Lane. I mean, you can go through that in the morning and wait. Here's our future. This is all about the emphasis on planning. It breaks my heart to read on social media and out there that we're not planning. We are planning, folks. We are planning. We're doing things that future administrations, future mayors, future boards are all going to get the credit for. They're going to walk out and do the ribbon cutting, and I'll be on my walker somewhere. This is the stuff we're doing now for later. And it's not going to hit the pavement real quick as we'd like, especially as fast as you'd like. But we all know the importance of planning. And this is a new future gateway north to our city. You know we're trying to get to new interstate interchange. That way everybody doesn't have to flow north down Highway 31 through Thompson Station every morning. And that's our goal, and that's what we're working hard toward. You know, when you have 70% of your people, 70% of 35,000 people, we want to get those folks on and off the interstate without having to get on Main Street and 31. And you can bet Thompson Station does.
Absolutely.
And we are, you know, like I said, we're working real hard on this. We're going to have some help from the federal level. I was hoping Marcia would be here today. We'd squeeze her, and we'll continue to Steve Aldridge's here. Yeah. And we're going to need some help at the federal level for this interstate interchange. But go back to the last one, please.
All right.
The just so everybody gets their bearings, that would be north to the right. And when you take a left here, you're going to go to Duplex, and of course the new I-65 interchange is behind me from the picture angle. Notice the fence. Did you pinpoint that fence? Does that? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but you may notice that the fence is familiar. If you drove by it today, it's what we call the GM fence. It's very unique, and until Dan educated us on this. Yeah, their fence has got an X above the railing. It's kind of, not everybody does that. So we're carrying that unique factor across the whole city. And the arches there that you'll see, they're probably much bigger than that. We're talking about panels with some logos and artistic things that'll go on it. And the studies tell us, all the studies we're doing and we spend a lot of money on tell us this has got to be 5 lanes, both ways, 5 lanes. Okay, so this is where we're moving to in the future. This is our vision of the city, and it's going to be in our city. Next, this rendering here is on down the road a little bit. This is Buckner and Buckner now is behind us, and notice the traffic calming things that are planned for this road. We don't want it to be a speedway. You know, we don't want people driving down Buckner Road and doing too excessive. So we got some things in there like the low-level landscaping, continuation of the same fence design, a proper design roundabout. Not like the crossing. Dan wanted us to be sure we said that. We don't claim the roundabout crossing. Yeah. So notice the open spaces that'll be there. This is all planned around the multimodal transportation, walking, pedestrian walking, the bikes. Notice the benches with the rest areas. That one bench there, or somewhere in there, that'll be me and my walker one day.
Watching the world go by.
Watching the world go by. I'll be up there just smiling. But the spaces all interact, and without everybody, not everybody has to be in a car. Okay, we're not going to force people not to be in a car, but when people do choose bicycles, that's one less person on the road. Think about that. So there'll be choices.
You know, one of the things we've been talking about planning, in 2010, the city is a part of a bigger group called the Metropolitan Planning Organization, the Greater Nashville Metropolitan Planning Organization. We're one city among all of those. And up until 2010, the city of Spring Hill really hadn't been engaged, but we started becoming very engaged, very involved. And in 2010, when they were looking at their 2035 plan, what you see is they didn't have very much showing for Spring Hill. In fact, there was nothing showing as far as future development, future plans, future project for Spring Hill. Since then, we've been engaged. The mayor and I attend meetings every month. Dan and Dara attend other meetings every month.